Okay, so today we got a new guide on Mopro Nexus 1.5. He's the new boss for the expansion drills for this week. He is a new boss, so we're going to go over him, and I'm going to kind of show how to do him. He's not very difficult, but he's a little confusing, so I figured I would make this video. For the first run here, we're just going to do it the way I did it, in a hopefully in a way that you can't mess it up, and then you can just copy that strategy. And then at the end, we'll talk about strategy and like swapping units in and out if you have to, or got to take different buffs. But we'll just do it my way real quick. So for the frenzy level overcharges that you want to take, we're just going to go to 18. If you want to go above that, that's up to you, but this is pretty straightforward. We're going to do this bottom one here. This won't ever come into play because we're not attacking his arms. This one you're just going to have to kind of deal with. Eventually you're going to accidentally not crit him, and it'll force his defense to grow, but it's okay. We're just going to focus him single target, and this is less than if you took the enemy defense increase. So we just have to bite the bullet on that one and take it. It's just going to slow the fight down a little bit. This, once again, we're going to be using primarily fire units, or you can use any units. If you're going to really heavily rely on like Macchiato to carry you on this fight, then don't take this one. But we're going to be using fire units in this, so it doesn't matter. This one here, you can take this one. We're going to take 2 levels of this because this ability doesn't hit very hard, and we're going to be able to soak it pretty easily, and that'll kind of... You'll see. It's not that big a deal. And then same thing here. The stability on this boss does nothing, so this is a freebie. That's 18. So the trick to this is we're pretty much going to try and burn him down as fast as possible. We're not going to completely ignore the mechanics, but as you'll see, if you do what I'm going to show you here, it's pretty straightforward. So there's only one thing you need to keep track of for this boss. Well, technically 3 things, but it's all has to do with the same topic. You need to keep track of whichever one of your units has the highest attack power, whichever one of your units has the highest HP, and whichever one of your units you want to be the close target. So for me, my highest attack power unit is going to be Macchiato. If that's a problem for you, like if you have other units, you can either just sandbag them, like I switched out some of my Changju attachments here to lower her attack, so she'd never be above Macchiato. And you gotta remember, Macchiato is going to get a little bit of a damage, or an attack boost here. So Macchiato is going to be our highest attack power unit. Vector is going to be the unit taking the close attacks, and then Xiaomi is going to be the max HP. Actually, we're going to use Centurici. I did this with Xiaomi, and it's like overkill. Like she makes it like way too easy. So I'm going to try and make it a little more difficult and take Centurici. It's still very easy. I've done it with both. So, and then over here, you're going to put whatever 2 main damage dealers you want on this side. These are going to be safe spots. You're never going to have to worry about these units, so whoever you want over here, just get comfy. We're using Changju and Sharkri. So, like I said, every single round, we're just going to keep track of, like I said, highest HP, nearest target, and highest attack power units on our team. And we're just going to wail on the boss other than that. So we'll just have Macchiato. So Macchiato is going to be the highest attack power. One, she's got her fixed key. Yeah, fixed key, sorry. This one here is active, but she's also going to get extra from full precision shot. But so, for this first turn, you want your highest attack power person, where Macchiato is standing. If you have someone that fluctuates and the highest attack power, gets a little messy. That's all I was saying. Try and keep someone who's consistently highest. Put her in Macchiato's spot. Your closest unit can be Vector here. Or in Vector's spot, I should say. Just throw some attacks at the boss. I said all you need to worry about is attacking the main body of the boss. If we do an attack here, you'll see these other markings. These are his little side wings. You don't have to worry about those at all. Just ignore those completely. We're just going to be attacking the main body. In this strategy, we're not going to have to use these defensive buffs, these hardened armors, but if you ever get into a really spicy position, you can go ahead and pick them up on the turn, but we're not going to use them. So where Chongju is and where Sharkri is, these are going to be the safe spots. You're never going to have to move these units. They're just going to sit here and be comfy all game. So you can have relatively fragile units here too. So if you position in the way I just told you, Vector's going to take the close attack. Macchiato is going to take the highest, the attack that's targeted at the unit with the highest attack power. And then they're going to lay down some like AoEs that you'll see in a second here. So there's the one for the highest attack power. And now he's going to lay down some AoEs. Now you have two options here. If you're using Xiaomi or you have like a really like powerful healer, you can have Macchiato just stand in this, or whoever your highest attack power person is, you can just have this stand in it. That will prevent the boss from getting the attack up boost, but as you'll see, it's not that big a deal. We're gonna just do it this way so that you can be consistent for the rest of the turns. On this turn, we don't have to worry about highest attack power, so we're gonna go ahead and use all the abilities that increase our attack power and stuff, like Chongju here. And the important thing is that Macchiato comes to here. Or I should say your highest attack power unit. Whoever is going to be taking the close baits is going to come to here. And then whoever your healer or the unit with the highest HP is going to come to right here. And what's going to happen is he's going to hit this person with this first ability here, the Mopro Bomb, and it's going to cleanse the debuffs off these three. So you can do whatever. Like I said, I don't need to heal, so we're just going to auto-attack the target here. I can click him. This attack doesn't hit very hard, which is why it's okay to stand out in the open like that. If you're really low on HP, it might be dangerous, but like I said, usually the highest HP unit on your team is going to be the healer, so just have the healer heal themselves. So, if you took this Frenzy here, if Dust Reaper Storm does not hit a doll, the target attack is going to go up. He's going to get that buff because we just dodged it. If you had your highest attack power person stand there, he wouldn't get that buff, but just be cautious of that. This turn he's going to hit a little harder. But we're just going to literally move back to our spots. Once again, let me do that. We don't want the attack power to spike, so that's why we're pressing the momentum. We don't want her to get Blazing Assault. Want Macchiato to continue to be the highest attack power person on the team. And then for the rest of the team, you can once again have whoever's going to be baiting the highest HP attack can come right to here. And let's do this. And you can move over here if you want. Doesn't really matter. And from here on out, it's pretty much going to rinse and repeat. Looks like I messed that up. Looks like Chongju actually did take the highest HP attack. Then Teresa did not heal herself. I didn't listen to my own advice. I should have thrown the drink on myself, but that's okay. we're pretty much back to turn 1, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat. So we're gonna have, and once again, this turn you can have whoever's going to be the highest HP can just stand over here. You don't have to actually be behind cover. You just want to be in this row so that all the targeted AoEs go on this line. We'll just heal up everyone like this, and we're going to remove their debuffs. You might have been getting hit with the tenacity debuff this whole time, so that's why you cleanse there. So Tsuyomi does this as well with her ult. And yeah, we're probably just going to fast forward through a lot of this. Once again, we don't want Changju's attack to get too high. We want Macchiato to take it. So this turn is going to be kind of awkward. Normally you would use professional tactics here, but since we want Macchiato to stay as the highest attack, we're going to kind of just bite the bullet, and we're going to push back her rotation by a turn so that she can continuously stay at highest attack rating. That if you got a really good team with like lots of high DPS, you can probably kill this boss within like 4 to 5 turns. But the nice thing about this strategy is it doesn't really matter how much damage your team puts out, as long as you can kind of survive these attacks, which are relatively easy to survive, especially if you're doing the mechanics correctly. Yeah, you'll probably never die, and you have 15 turns to do this. So once again, Macchiato is going to come to there. She's loses a tile of movement because of her, she went under 80%, so she lost insight, but that's okay. We don't have the attack power restriction this turn, so let's just go ahead and stop our units. But yeah, Macchiato comes to here. She can now get her Confectness back, and then next turn we'll ult and get her back on top as far as attack power. So once again, whoever's going to bait close attacks needs to come to here. Oops, if I can click. Comes to there. And everything should still be Gucci, because we will still be... The reason you're standing here is because you need these 2 units within 4 or 5 tiles of you. We'll actually heal Macchiato just to top her off, but... By standing here, once again, the attack will go on her, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're both going to get all these stacks of shred cleansed off of them. And now we're just going to finish the turn. So the boss might die here over the turns, but like I said, if for some reason you have to keep going, it's not a big deal. Just keep fighting the boss and wailing at him. Like I said, and that was with the 50% damage buff the boss gets because we dodged the attacks. If we come to the bottom here and see targeted attack boost, that was with the damage boost. So this boss doesn't hit very hard. Vector didn't even dip below half from that. And like I said, now we are back to rinse and repeat. So we'll have Vector ult here, you get a big burst damage from this. Now, my Vector is segment 1 if that matters for anybody. That's why some of these AoEs are a little bit bigger than usual, but like I said, if nothing else, it's just going to take you an extra turn or 2. Very straightforward boss. You just rinse and repeat and do that back and forth movement dance with the bottom 3 units over and over while the top 2 units just kind of stay in their piece of cover and get comfy. So this is the damage breakdown if anyone cares about this, which you shouldn't because this is a little deceiving. Vector did not actually do 50% of the boss's HP. That's all the AoE she does from the arms. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, we're going to talk about some alternate options real quick and some 4-star options if you don't have a lot of characters. For highest attack power character on the team, doesn't really matter. Macchiato works really well because, like I said, Cold Conviction gives you lots of extra attack as well as her fixed key. But you can have anybody do this, and even if it's got to be one of your damage dealers like Changju, if she's going to be the highest attack on the team, that's fine too. Just got to keep in mind that they're going to be moving around and taking hits, so that's just something to think about. For highest HP unit on the team, usually it's your healer. I said Xiaomi makes this fight ridiculously easy because her shields give you such a huge buffer, and it also prevents you from taking damage from tenacity, so therefore you don't get the debuff. And she also cleanses it if it does ever get on you. So she makes it ridiculously easy, but Sentry EC works as well too. You could also use someone like Colfane. Colfane's, if you stack a bunch of HP on her, she's actually a really good healer for this because she also gives you a lot of stability back with her ult here. And then for the like AoE heals, you can just use Battlefield Glow to heal the entire south side. The 3 units that are going to be tanking all the attacks in the bottom side of the map. And so for highest HP, you could also use someone like Rosa. And Rosa can also be used to bait the closest attacks as well. She's really good at that. Obviously, you just throw a bunch of HP gear. You don't care about how much damage she does. She's just there to soak attacks with perfect cover. Gives you defense up. More importantly, it gives you shelter. And by having her on the south end of the map with the other 3 units that are taking the attacks, she's going to be giving the team lots of stacks of shelter over the course of the fight, which will matter if you have lower DPS, because the longer the fight goes, the more likely you're going to run into situations where your units start to get stability broken and taking like big hits from the boss. So Rose is actually a really, really good choice for the bottom half of the team. Yeah, and that's kind of it. Everybody else, like I said, Sabrina's just a better version of Groza. That works as well too. So, and for your DPS units, it doesn't really matter. Just keep in mind that, like I said, if you have lower DPS units, the fight's just going to go a little bit longer. But it really doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about like what weakness, what like phase weakness or anything like that, or it's very straightforward. So okay, that's pretty much it for this. I will catch you guys in the next one. If you have any more questions, I'm going to be doing this boss on Friday Night Frontline, my stream that I do here on YouTube. So go ahead and hit me up on Friday night, and I'll answer any questions live if you got them. So until next time, dudes.